Head coach Ime Udoka, that is his title still, albeit suspended, 51-31 last year, as people may remember. People are having fun with this on social media. 622 winning percentage. And then you have interim head coach Joe Mazzulla, 24-10 before this eye abrasion that I guess he suffered playing pickup hoops, and he has been out the last couple of games, but that's a 706 winning percentage. And then you have interim coach Damon Stoudemire coming in 2-0 so far, which only leads me to believe, Gary, that as soon as the video guy gets a crack at this, the other team may not score a bucket. But the serious question though, and I don't want to discount. I love Joe, and Joe. We'll get to this a little bit, but it's only a matter of time before the interim tag comes off. He officially is the head coach, and he has this job for years to come. He's the guy, but I guess it sort of makes me think a little bit. I use this example occasionally when I don't remember what year it was, but when Steve Kerr was out all those games, half the season, and it was Luke Walton filled in for him, and the team went 44-2 or some absurd record, whatever it was, and then obviously Walton goes on to other stops and doesn't have nearly the same success because the teams weren't even close to being as good. When you have just an elite team, a truly superior team, which obviously these Celtics are, is coaching, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but is it just not nearly as important when you get to a certain level as it is when you're a team that's either rebuilding or, mediocre and still rising?
Yeah, I do think coaching might not be as critical at this point, because this team has been together so many years, and they know each other. They know Joe. Now they know Damon. But I do think it's important. Some of the tactical situations, the ways to improve the defense, ways to get guys open shots, things that tactical stuff, strategy stuff. Maybe not managing the game, or maybe Tatum knows where he needs to be. Brown knows where he needs to be. But maybe devising new plays to get them better shots. Maybe setting up Robert Williams to get that, that alley-oop dunk. Maybe the little tactical things still think is very important. And I think that Joe has his own particular style, obviously, as we've seen, that's different from Ime, and he sticks to it. And I also think he's learning a lot on the run, on the fly. But I do think coaching's important. Is it important as it is in Oklahoma City or Orlando, where you're really trying to just develop guys and you're literally just trying to get them to get better, become pros, and get them to take a step toward, the semblance of playoff contention in future years? Yeah, you're coaching veteran guys. You're coaching Marcus. You're coaching Jason, Jalen. Marcus is in 9th year. Jalen's in his 7th, and Tatum's in his 6th. It seems like it happened yesterday. They're all drafted, but these are guys. These are veterans. Brogdon, veteran. Horford, veteran. Even Robert Williams is becoming a veteran, as much as we always see him as a real young guy. But that's a veteran ball club, and they know what to do, and they know where to be. And I think they've kind of partnered with Joe in terms of his coaching. And I think having a good staff with Damon and Ben Sullivan, Tony Dobbins, and a lot of those guys who have helped. But I do think coaching is important. I just think at this stage that it's a different level that Mazzulla is doing, a different job than, let's say, Jamal Mosley in Orlando, or Mike Brown in Sacramento, guys that are trying to carry their team to the postseason, or coaching a bunch of guys and trying to get them to be pros. These guys are pros, and they learned, I think, a lot, Adam, under Udoka. I think that the roughness, the tough transition has already happened. So I think they were ready to flourish this year, regardless of who the coach was. And I think that they're flourishing under Joe because they have a lot of respect for him, but also they know and they've been there.
So this doesn't really make a difference, Gary, because like I said, Joe's the guy and Joe's going to be the guy going forward. But you've obviously written, among others, about the interim situation for Mazzulla. You've questioned in columns when is the team going to take away the interim tag and just give him the head coach label? And of course, very recently, just in the last few days, talked to Brad Stevens about it, and Brad essentially said yeah, we're good with how things are going right now. It's not about labels. It's about how we're doing, and we're doing well. So that's a conversation for later. My feeling, and I've said this on the show, going back to when all of this happened, which obviously was right before the start of the regular season, my feeling has been that Joe was not going to lose the interim tag until Ime is fully out of the picture, which almost happened, obviously, in terms of the Brooklyn situation. Then it fell through and it didn't. So all of a sudden he's back in the shadows again, I guess you might say. But I guess I just wonder, and I don't know if legally it should make a difference or if there's just a fundamental difference, or if there's no difference at all. You tell me. But I think that, we're not going to see Joe become head coach, no interim tag until the Ime buyout is done and he is gone and just no longer here.
Yeah, I do think that there's some legal ramifications that have to go down over the next few months. And I think Joe's proven capable of being an NBA head coach. Okay, I don't think it's that. We're what, 36 games in, 44. I think it's 44% of the season. So he has shown he's ready. But I do think that they don't want, because they've been, if you name Mazzulla full-time head coach, you've got to make a decision on Ime. Like, either you A, fire him or release him from his contract, B, give him another position within the organization, whatever, or C, come to some type of contract settlement where, whatever. Like, so I think that they're kind of putting that on hold for now. And maybe it could be a situation where they're waiting to see if another team comes and gets them so they don't have to pay them. I think there's a lot of legal stuff behind the scenes, Adam, that is keeping the Celtics. And I don't think they also want to just put that pressure on Joe. Like, I just think they I think they've probably, and certainly promised Joe, listen, this is your job. We're not going to have you coach here a full season, and then put you right back to the assistant's box while, this is one of those things with Krzyzewski having back surgery at Duke or like the Kerr situation, where he's guaranteed he's not coming back. So I'm sure Joe knows that. And I'm sure the organization is fine. They've made some agreements. And I just think for us, of course, as the media, we want to know what's going on. Why isn't he the coach yet? Why don't you just make the call? And I think the Celtics are just being very meticulous with this whole situation. I think that that's how they've handled this the whole time, afraid to make a mistake. And that's understandable, and who knows what the situation with Udoka is. Are they talking on occasion? Are they checking in? Is he checking in with them? Are they checking in with him? Have they arranged for him to get some type of a therapy session or get some type of, remember, he's still an employee of the Celtics organization. Have they given him a referral to a therapist? Have they dealt with him? Has he talked to anybody? We don't know. They've kind of stopped mentioning his name, and it gets some people in the organization kind of cringe when they hear his name. So I think there's a lot of loose ends to be tied up before they name Mazzulla the coach. But I do think Mazzulla will be the coach. That's for certain. For certain.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And obviously we keep talking about aspects of the coaching, and Joe's going to have to, I guess, chill out on the pickup for a little while, or at least wear goggles or something when he's out there, so that, he doesn't run into another one of these setbacks and he can't play. We want to, can't coach, want to see him on the sidelines there, as Jason Tatum said, chewing the crap out of some gum.